Hi, I'm Chris Ryan. We're at the Belfry. We're in the TaylorMade Performance Centre, and the video today is going to be looking at the short game, and I'm going to give you some ways that you can practice the short game whilst the weather is pretty poor during the winter months. Also, make sure you go ahead and follow me on my social media platforms. The details of those should be in the corner of the screen anytime now. You've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, and you've got Twitter. You can connect with me via any of those, and it will be good to get some suggestions from you guys on videos that you would like me to film moving forward. So certainly I'm going to try and include a lot more content that comes from you. So if you've got any things you want explained, any swing faults that you maybe want me to try and look at, let me know, and hopefully we can do a video for you. Right, so we look at the short game, and as you can see, we are indoors. Now, I appreciate that not everybody watching this video is going to have this sort of setup, but many of you will have maybe a net at home in the garden, maybe in the garage, something like that. Some of you may well have a net at your golf course, and when the golf course is closed, you can maybe start to do a few more things to help your short game. So many golfers over the winter months, they do try and focus on the long game. That's fine, but we can also do some stuff on the short game. And what that means is when the good weather comes around, you're going to hit the ground running. You're going to have done all your technical stuff, and you can start doing a little bit more random practice, a lot more feel stuff. Right, so what we're going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at pitch shots. So we're looking at relatively short pitch shots. So, you know, from around the green, not sort of 60, 70 yards, but maybe sort of 20, 30, 40 yard pitch shots. One of the things that we need to be able to do is judge the distance. That's really, really important. Now, judging the distance is going to be down to a couple of things. It's going to be down to being able to apply the right speed into the golf ball, but it's also going to be being able to control the trajectory that the golf ball goes off at. So, as you can probably imagine, if that ball takes off higher, it's going to drop steeper, it therefore won't roll as far, and it probably won't carry as far. So even if we had a golf ball which took off at the same speed, if it's going into the air at different angles, it's going to run out and roll different distances. So the exercise today is really to try and understand what you're like at controlling the trajectory. And more importantly, can you repeat the trajectory? So I've obviously got a net. As you can see, the net is probably only about 6 or 7 paces in front of us. It's not too far. And you'll notice that I've put some blue tape on that net. Now, I've hit a couple of pitch shots from here, and I've just tried to imagine I'm hitting that ball over about a 20-yard distance. And what I've done is I've just simply hit one shot, which felt like a pretty good contact. I made a note of where it hit on that net, and then I've just simply put a bit of tape across there. So my goal now in practice is to see whether I can successfully repeat that launch angle. So that launch angle meaning that ball sort of hitting that point of the net. Now, if I can't, that's going to suggest that there's some things maybe lacking in my technique. It could be down to poor contact. It could be down to techniques changing. It could be down to speed. So if I go ahead and hit one, I'm going to see how close I can get to that point. So I'm just going to go through my sort of regular pitching motion. Again, it's a fairly short pitch, so it's not going to be a long swing. And I'm going to try and visualise this ball getting at 20 yards and see how close I can get to that blue tape. Okay, and that just clipped the top of the tape. So that would suggest to me that was very, very similar to the shot that I hit previously. So that would be a good shot there. Strike felt pretty good. It went into there at the same trajectory. So what are some of the things that we've said are going to cause this to maybe not happen as often? Well, if I play the same shot, same setup, same technique, and I make my golf club travel much slower through impact, so I put less speed in, okay, you can see that ball hit the net significantly lower. So this is actually really good for regulating your speed control with the golf club. Even though we'd maybe looking at trajectory, you wouldn't think speed is part of that, but it is. If we can start to generate the same speed in the golf club each time, provided we get the right contact, we should be able to get that ball into the air, okay? If you feel that maybe your strike is poor, so if I maybe hit this one a little bit bottomy, okay, it got into the air, but it certainly didn't go as high. So that was a strike-related issue. So even though we're indoors, even though we don't see the flight, even though we don't see the rollout, even though we haven't got a flag, we can still start to work on our technique. So your job really is to just get much, much better at sending the ball into the air at the same trajectory. Okay, that was a little bit higher. Only just, it was a little bit higher. So it probably hit that about 2 to 3 inches above. So really, really good practice. Start to think about the setup. Start to make it the same every time. Start to feel like you have the same tempo. Try and get the strike the same. And it's really going to start to highlight some things that might be lacking in your game. as we said at the start, when the season sort of comes around and the courses start to get a little bit better, I mean, we're into January here in the UK, the conditions don't really get a lot worse than they are now. When those better conditions do come around, you don't really want to be having to spend a huge amount of time working on technique. What you do want to do is have the technique nailed, done, boxed off, and then you can go out there and you can start doing more sort of feel and touch kind of exercises to get your feel, as opposed to having to spend time working on your technique. So all we're going to get you to do, take your setup, and just see if we can repeat that same trajectory each time. That one hit the bottom of the tape there. So that's 3 shots, all slightly different, but not too bad. You know, they all kind of thereabouts. There was certainly nothing there that was excessively high, excessively low. So to me, that tells me that my technique is okay. I seem to be able to produce the right same technique, same strike, same trajectory, same speed, all those kind of things. So because we're doing this over a short distance, there's not a huge amount of speed involved. It doesn't have to be a golf net, okay? A golf net, you could use maybe a net you've got in your back garden that's not specific for golf, because the ball's not going to come back at you at twice the speed. So if you are experiencing some poorer conditions wherever you are viewing this video, maybe you can do some things to help your short game. You can start to practice some of these things that we maybe feel we can't do in these winter months. So get the trajectory good. See if you can repeat it. That's going to really, really help you when you come to judge the distance out on the golf course. Right, there is another video following this one. So this is going to be, the next video I should say, is going to be released a week from today, and we're going to be taking this a step further. So have a go at this video. Once you feel like you're fairly competent at getting that trajectory the same, find the video which is going to next week, and we're going to push this on and make it a little bit more difficult, which is also going to help you with short game. Okay, so hopefully you like that video. You know what to do. There's comments box, there's like button, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you also subscribe to my channel. It just means you'll get first access to videos, you won't miss any of the content, and hopefully you'll play some better golf as a result. So that's really the whole point of these videos. Okay, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.